need it in there. And it's just a confirmation delete. Yes, delete. So now it goes back to our default 420. Now, let's just say we're doing some calculations at the bottom, or we're doing a 210 tank right there. Let's put some numbers in here, 992. Okay, and we change our mind. Instead of like changing the values here or here, right? Let's see here. Done. What you can do is use that clear button. Okay, but remember, there's a default tank. It's always going to go back to the 420. All right, just remember that when you're using it. If you're at a different tank size and you use your clear button. Also, if you're going to do back gauging on here or change gauges using barrels in your bottom gauge to get your top gauge, always use your clear button. Clear out everything, make sure you have your proper tank size selected, and then enter your values. That way you're not introducing any little hiccups or errors into your calculations. So right here, well, before I do that, let's go back to main calculator, the blue button at the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to enter 181 barrels as the total barrels loaded, and I'm going to show you how to use the tank calculator. Just remember it's 181. Okay, so we're going to hit 12, 6.5, and bottom, let's see, 3, 7.25. Okay, so right there it's highlighted, so all you got to do is hit done. Okay, so now you'll see where it says send to load 1 those barrels. So remember, it says 181 on the home screen, so let's send to load 1. Now we're back on the home screen. It entered that value there. Now you can change it, right? You can change it back. It's editable, right? Let's see, go back to storage tank. It's holding your values when you move from screen to screen. So send to load 1. Now that's not the first load of the day. That's load 1 of a split load. Okay, so there's a feature on here for doing a split load. So this doesn't stick you out in the field, and then you're having still break out a piece of paper and a pencil and do calculations, you know, off to the side. You can do everything on this app. So what we're going to do is it has options and it shows all off. We're going to hit that down arrow. Okay, so we have a split load option, split temperature, and that's for your observed temperature and your tank temperature, because it does calculations differently when you use the two values. And then reference only, that's where we're going to get things like net barrels, and we'll go through each one of these. So I'm going to select split load. So split load. Now you can collapse this. It's showing that one option of the 3 is on. Hit that up arrow, collapse that. Okay, so using the same values just for simplicity, 82 and 0.1. Next, we're just going to hit done, and we're going to go to that storage tank calculator here in a moment. But what I wanted you to see was up here, total oil weight of that 180 barrels, right? 49,265. I'm going to come all the way up to the top. Now it's doing a calculation of those 180 barrels. Well, we're well under the 80,000, right? And I shouldn't say well under. We're under the 80,000, well under the 84,000. Okay, so coming back down to load 2. So we're going to hit the storage tank calculator. Now remember, I said this will hold the values unless you personally clear them out. So what we're going to do is we are going to clear them, because I don't want to introduce any errors just flipping back and forth through these calculations. So I remember that we had 3 feet 7 inches, I think, and a quarter as our bottom gauge. And I want to load just 15 more barrels. Okay, I'm going to hit done. It gave me a top gauge, as if I needed to get a top gauge for loading 15 barrels and I only had my bottom gauge, it's going to calculate it. Okay, I'm going to hit clear. Let's say I load 25 barrels and I went up here and I gauged the top at we'll do the same, 3 foot 7 1/4 inches. So it's going to give me my bottom gauge for 25 barrels. Okay, so it's not really what it's intended for, but in whatever event, if the tank is in production and you only have a bottom gauge and the loaded barrels on your barrel counter for the trailer, then you can calculate your back gauge without breaking out your pen and pencil, or paper and pencil. Okay, now you'll notice that there's a send to load to button here now. So if we did the top and bottom gauge calculations and came out with 25 barrels, we're going to hit send to load to, and it takes us right back to that home screen. Now if you look, we're over 80,000. So what I'm going to do is push back half a barrel, and no, wait, what did I do there? That should be 4.5. Okay, and now we're under that 84,000 threshold. Okay, so now let's get to the split temperature. What it's going to do, it opens up a new field right here. You have API gravity, observed temperature, and now it has tank temperature. You'll see the note under it that it's typically about 2 degrees from observed. And my experience over all these years is tank temperature is always 2 degrees higher than observed temperature. So that's why I have it set up like this, to auto-populate a 2-degree variance. Now you can come in here and change this. You can make that 83. Okay? So also, you'll notice that some of these values are decimals. They have the tenths location. So 180.0. All the barrel counters I've ever seen stop there at the 10th. They don't go to the thousandths and stuff like that. BS&W, you can go to 0.05. Okay, you can do a half a degree or whatever division of the tenths that you want to use. 83.5 for your temperature. Okay, so now we have those values. So reference only, and the reason why it says that is it's just for reference. You're going to be able to check your net barrels and gross observed barrels and your adjusted gravity, all of these things with this toggle button. So I'm going to hit it now, and there we go. You can read the disclaimer or the notation there. So for load 1, because it's a split load, right? The barrels you loaded, you don't have to worry about the CTL. That's corrected for temperature of liquid, and VCF, volume corrected for fluid, I believe is what that stands for. So we had 50 gravity. It's corrected down to 60 degrees, industry standard. So it's 47.8 on load 1. It tells you your pounds per barrel. It says unadjusted. That's for your loaded barrel per barrel. Okay, with the weight of it, you're going to have your it says standard pounds per barrel at 60 degrees. So that's your adjusted pound per barrel. Okay, so that's what it would convert to, is like your net. Okay, so estimated net barrels, estimated gross standard volume. So on your ticket, because everybody's using a tablet and printing tickets, this, depending on whether it's proprietary or WeldTrax, Pack Energy, which are basically the same program, or anything else, they're using a API industry standard formulation. And you'll notice that, let's just take estimated net barrels, 177.58, and let's not use a split temperature. Okay, let's just use observed temperature. Now it's 177.73 estimated gross GSV. It'd be 0.82, and now it's 0.67. Okay, so up here it also calculates into your weight. So 814, 83,814. That's with your tank and observed temperature. Just with your observed temperature, 83,863. Okay, those are API calculations. Okay, now whether you have items selected under the options card or not, you can still collapse the card. It doesn't change the selection. But if you choose no split temperature, no split load, it removes that from the calculations, but it still holds it in memory. So if you change your mind, oh wait, this ticket does use that to calculate it, so we'll put the temperature back, right? Okay, you'll notice that it changed the weight range because it's not a split load now, right? So there's 24.5 barrels missing. And that's the basic run through. So if you collapse the reference only, you don't need it. It's literally just for reference. Everything will fit back on the screen here. If you close your legend. So there we go. Now you can auto rotate this if you want it wider, but it's not all going to fit on the screen, obviously. And the little logo at the top, you can press that, and I don't know if you want to look at the guy. There he is. So you don't have to clear this when you're ready to exit the app and you don't want any value saved. In the top right, in the middle, the top right buttons there, you see the red off button. All you got to do is hit that. It's going to go into this other animation, and it's going to sign you off. Now I'll show you two more things.